Hello everyone, my name is Sammy and welcome. And I am pretty excited today because it seems like cons slash conventions have been returning, and that makes me very excited. There is a convention that I usually go to once a year, and because of the current events, it has been canceled twice. One from 2020 and once for this year. It does look like it will be here next year. So, in celebration, I guess, or kind of celebration, kind of like I was smacked in the face with the urge, to create this cosplay. Now, if you couldn't tell by the title, yes, I will be creating the cosplay of Princess Dusk. This is little backstory time. This is a Naruto card that I had gotten years ago from opening up a pack of cards. This was the only card I got of her, and she's actually from the game Ultimate Ninja Heroes 2. It's actually really cool. Geez, I don't know if you can see that, but on the top, I don't know if it's gonna focus, but on the top there, it actually says where she's from, which I think is super freaking cool. So this will kind of be a 3-part slash 4-part because I usually like to break things down into smaller chunks, and just the way I usually do things, it's just in shorter videos. So yes, I was smacked in the face with the urge to create and learn more about her. So I finally went like on YouTube, saw a playthrough, saw more of her costume than just this. So I will be using this picture, or this card, and some other pictures as a reference. So I think we should get started. In this video, I will be kind of explaining how I created the 3 kimonos. There are 3 kimonos to this cosplay. I'm hoping it's kind of cold because I'm wearing a lot of layers. So here we go. All right, so I found this fabric at the thrift store and I laid it out, and I had already made a kimono-like robe with a bed sheet a while back. So I just traced that for the general shape. It's usually like this, for me, it's usually like the single piece of fabric. So I traced the shape and I sewed pretty much along the entire edge of it, but I'm right here showing you where I cut to make the opening of the kimono. So that's the opening. I should have made it a little bigger, but I only figured that out after I had created it. So that is the opening. I widened it a little bit, and I'm going to create sort of like a little extra fabric piece that goes along the neckline, and I'm doing that by taking this piece of the bed sheet and folding it over to create a pretty big tube, basically. And I'm going to cut along that entire thing, and I did this twice to make it super long because the purple inner kimono, it's pretty much just like this big long thing. So I created the tube, and I turned one of them inside out, and then I had to connect the 2 tubes. And basically to do that, you sort of put right sides together. You put one tube inside of the other tube, and so right sides together, and then turn the entire thing right side out, which is what I did here. And then I just pinned the neckline to the entire opening of the kimono to create the purple kimono. Now, here is where I show you, this is the first kimono I kind of created many years ago. This is what I used to trace all of the kimonos with. So for that, I created a purple kimono, which is what you saw, and then I created 2 white kimonos. The middle kimono being a little bigger than the purple one, and the final white kimono being the biggest of all. So here is where I basically just spared you of watching the same process for 2 more times. So I basically created all 3 kimonos the same way. I traced, I made an opening in the front, and then I created a neckline for all the kimonos. Now, the next part is, if you noticed in the card, she has sort of this like lace tie thingy going on here, and that's what I'm working on next. So with this, I basically laid out my kimono and I sort of gauged and marked where I wanted each hole to go. I then decided to paint it with glue around the X just to prevent any fraying, and I had to let that dry because, you know, it's wet. So I let the glue completely dry, and while it was drying, I made the sort of red cord tie thing using some red fabric I had gotten at the thrift store, and I made a bunch of tubes, and just, yeah, this thing is long. I probably didn't have to make it this long, but it is long. And then I sewed all of them together, and then I started cutting out the holes once the glue was dry, and pretty much you just do that the entire time that I did it, and that is what the red cord looks like. I'm actually pretty happy with it. I think it looks really cool. And that is pretty much it. I created all 3 kimonos pretty much the same way. And then for the last kimono, there was the detail of the tying cord, which I cut out holes, made a long tube of red fabric, and threaded it through. And that is pretty much it for the first part of this, was creating the 3 kimonos. Now, of course, these videos are shortened down to a great deal just because that's just kind of how I do it for right now. Maybe one day I will show more of the process once I have maybe a bit better of a space to do so. But for the meantime, it's just kind of gonna be these short, simple, me explaining what I'm doing with some pictures and videos. So yes, this is the first part. There might be 3 or 4 parts in total. There's definitely going to be 2 more parts. It's just that other one that might be later down the line, closer to the con, but for right now I do want to show the process of me making this cosplay. So that is pretty much it for now. I am going to get going now. I hope you all continue to take care of yourselves, get sleep, eat some food, drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, and just do something you enjoy. It's kind of late, and I'm doing this a little late. Oopsies. But hey, that's okay. I'm doing it. It's getting done. So, okay, I'm gonna get going now. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all later. Bye! So it is like a mess in here, and oh, I'm sorry. It's like a mess in here, and I am hoping one day, hopefully soon, hopefully soon, I will have a much better and more organized background or something. Maybe I could even do something fun and have like a backdrop. I don't know. We'll see. But hopefully soon. Fun fact about this video, it has taken me 3 trips up and down the stairs because when I started, I wanted to come up here and start. And then I realized I forgot my laptop. And then I realized my laptop died. So I had to go back down and get my charger. And now I'm waiting for my laptop to charge.